What are wasps? You can safely stick your finger into such a wasp. You can catch such a wasp. And I lost my train of thought. Wasps. Little nasty fuckers in the world of insects. These are animals that I think everyone or most of you have dealt with, and every child knows or will find out sooner or later that it's better not to get close to such small buzzing insects because it can end very, very, very unpleasantly. I know from autopsy, I had the displeasure of being stung by a wasp in my childhood. Very unpleasant, very painful, better to avoid it, nothing cool. It's a little better with a bee, it doesn't hurt that much, but after a bee, for example, I swell up like a balloon. I'm allergic to bee venom, to melitine, so it's a bummer, and I try to stay away from these insects. I don't really know if I'm allergic to wasps, and I've lost my train of thought. Should we be afraid of wasps? I'm not going to lie to you and say no, because wasps are potentially deadly insects, and really in such drastic, extreme cases, where, I don't know, we drink a sweet drink into which a wasp got while we were absent, and this wasp stings us inside here. Well, this can end tragically for us, right? You have to be cautious with those insects as they can be defensive and aggressive. Wasps in particular are more prone to this behavior compared to hornets, so it's best not to joke around with them. I have been attacked or almost attacked by wasps more often than hornets, for example. Hornets, even though they are larger, even though they look more threatening, they will mind their own business more and only really attack when necessary in case of an attack, in case of defense. They attack in case of an attack, damn it. They attack in case of defending their nest and such other things that may threaten them. Wasps are quite different. They're smaller, nastier, and many people, including myself, feel the same way about them. What I have here is a real wasp, which I scooped up literally a few hours ago from the balcony. I thought it would be a cool theme for a movie. And of course, after recording, it will return to that balcony because let it live there. I don't need such a wasp except to show it to you and record it for YouTube. However, one of the things I want to show you is that you can safely put your finger to such a wasp. You can catch such a wasp, show it to you here. It will wag its abdomen. You can hold such a wasp and you can put such a wasp back into the box without risking a sting. Some of you might think it's fake and not a wasp, but it is a wasp with its distinctive black and yellow colors. Others will say, well, sick man.
He seems to have lost a bit of his mind, but I'm not sure.
He just caught a wasp, likely got stung but gritted his teeth, defecated himself, and now his finger will swell. No, listen, this wasp really didn't sting me because it doesn't have a stinger. But before I answer your question, why this wasp doesn't have a stinger, and it's not like I ripped it out or deprived it of its weapon in some other beastly, cruel way, I would like to answer another question, namely, what are wasps? Someone might say that a wasp is a black and yellow insect with occasional red hues, and it's best to steer clear of them. This is the definition of a wasp according to a typical John Doe, right? However, wasps are not such a simple matter, because many species of Hymenoptera, because wasps belong to this order, we can call wasps in this order, which is incredibly rich, has an incredibly large number of species. The wasp family alone consists of 5,000 species. Do you understand that? The order of Hymenoptera worldwide includes over 150,000 species. This is a huge, gigantic order, and to this order belong, among others, bumblebees, bees, all wasps, all other yellow, black, strange creatures. Ants, all ants belong to Hymenoptera, caterpillars, and a lot of other insects. Among the 150,000 species, around 5,000, more or less, belong to the wasp family. And this family includes all wasps, hornets, dome-shaped ones, all cage-like ones, so typical stingers. And basically, I think all species are equipped with a stinger. If my memory serves me right, I think so. And now pay attention, we have the wasp family, 5,000 species, we go one level lower in this whole systematic ladder, and we have a subfamily. There was a family, now there is a subfamily, and we have the subfamily Vespini, so wasps, wasp-shaped, as we call it, so we call it. Anyway, this subfamily includes all the hornets, proper wasps, and now in Poland, counting with our hornet, that is with the European hornet, we have 13 species of wasps. This is one of them. This is some Dolichowespula, as it seems to me. Looking at the mouth, it will be Dolichowespula. Generally, all wasps are quite similar to each other. All are black and yellow with a smaller or larger admixture, for example red, and they differ in details on the abdomen, details on the face, on the mouth, or simply details of the shape of this face, so summa summarum. Our fauna is really not very rich in wasps. Most of these wasps occur in Asia. There we have a lot of species of hornets, a lot of species of wasps, cage-like ones, and all these other stinging nasties. And since we already know what wasps are, I can finally answer your question why this particular wasp did not sting me. It didn't sting me because it doesn't have a stinger. Why doesn't it have a stinger? Because listen, this is a male, and males of all Hymenoptera, which means male bees called drones, male wasps, male hornets, male ants, and other Hymenoptera, do not have stingers. Just like that, this wasp is completely harmless. It can't do anything to me because it's simply not capable. It can't even bite me because its mandibles are just too weak to cut through human skin. So you might ask, how do I know it's a male? Listen, I knew it from the first glance at this individual. As soon as he landed on the glass, I just looked, I said, oh, we're taking him for the video because I know he won't be able to harm me. To easily distinguish male wasps, simply look at their antennae. As you can see, they are long, they are black. In females, these antennae are a bit more bent. They have a slightly different shape, slightly different length, and slightly different color. So here, distinguishing male-female is very simple. It's similar with bees. It's the same analogy with hornets. That is, the antennae are longer. They are more unbroken in the shape of an arc. And simply by this, you can recognize whether a given wasp is a male or a given wasp is a female. Well, here we have a male, so I automatically knew that this male does not have a stinger. He can't do anything to me. And the next question is, why don't males have stingers? And here the answer is also very simple. Well, what is a stinger? The stinger is an evolutionarily transformed ovipositor. And what is an ovipositor? An ovipositor is an organ used by various animals and many insects for laying eggs. And as we know, only females can lay eggs, right? It's not like in the case of seahorses, where the male spits out the young, and it's not like in the case of humans who have fancied that it can be different. Here, only and exclusively females are able to bring offspring into the world, and thus, since the ovipositor has turned into a weapon, into a sting, they automatically have to possess it only and exclusively females. Here's an interesting fact. Many insects have an ovipositor, including Hymenoptera and others like the green grasshopper, the big, jumping green insect that sometimes enters homes in the summer. The females also have an ovipositor. And this is a bigger grasshopper species from Peru. This individual is from Peru. I will tell you the name because I forgot, as always, Panoplocyllis specularis. Whatever that means, right? Wingardium leviosa. This species is huge. Preparing it was a tragedy because it is covered in spikes. And here, as you can see, this dagger that it has at the back proves that this individual is a female. And this dagger, which has split. But that's typically due to the preparation process. This is the ovipositor, which such insects use to lay eggs, and I think here in their case it is in the ground. However, in the case of Hymenoptera, these eggs can be laid in other insects, or in other insects that are found, for example, in wood. And such a situation I once recorded, I think, on Schlinja, and it is also here on this channel where I encountered a female ichneumon which was drilling into the wood with its ovipositor. And that would mean that somewhere close under this wood there is some larva, for example, of a beetle. The insect intended to drill into the larva. Wasps are known to be social insects. Here we are discussing the wasp family, which includes both wasps and bees. Interestingly, most wasps are insects that live alone. However, these wasps, namely the subfamily Vespinae, which contains these 70 species, they probably mostly, if not all, lead a social way of life. They are divided into castes, queen workers, and drones. I have an urge to sneeze. I will do it in a moment. Oh, Jesus. I was wondering if you can call a male wasp a drone, but I guess not. According to Wikipedia, the term drone is reserved exclusively for the honeybee, so let's just say male wasps to avoid confusion. Their job is mating, the queens lay eggs, and the workers handle everything else around the colony. Lastly, I wanted to mention the impact of wasps on humans. Wasps are very beneficial on one hand. They regulate mosquito populations, eat various caterpillars, and are important pollinators. So generally they are cool insects, and really if they don't get in our way or we don't get in their way, everything should be okay. However, the problem begins when there is an interaction between a human and a wasp, and such wasps can carry diseases. That's another matter, that there have been cases where wasps have transmitted diseases. However, in extreme cases, such wasps can be pests because, for example, they gnaw on cattle, or if the cattle have any wounds on their bodies, the wasps can also be interested in this because it is meat. Wasps, for example, make it difficult for people to work, and this is also my memory from childhood, that whenever there were some stalls with donuts or anything sweet, there were some buns. There were always a lot of wasps around, and these wasps made it difficult for the ladies or gentlemen who were serving behind the counter. Moreover, such wasps can become invasive species and displace local wasp species if they move to, for example, another country. So it's not all rosy, and of course wasps are known for the fact that they can sting us painfully, so generally most people don't like them. However, apart from that, wasps are not that bad. It really could have been worse. Let's be glad that they are not 10 centimeters long and are as they are. You just need to be careful with them, and that's it. Okay, there will be a video about wasps. It's G, cut.
Grew up in a place where they told you what to chase, told you how to run the race.